Clearly what the president wants this to be, a choice between Republicans and Democrats, but people are angry and they're voting on their anger.
Well, people are angry, and I think they're right to be. The president has said, they're right to be angry and frustrated because when you can't find work or your wages have been stagnant, you can't afford health care, you can't have your child go to college, you have every right to be angry and frustrated. And so what we have to do is make clear what we're trying to do to alleviate some of those problems, but also make sure people understand that the alternative here is going to make these problems worse. And so, and I think we can do that with passion. The president certainly has been very passionate out there. A lot of our candidates are. As I mentioned, I was with Governor Strickland this week, and he was very passionate about, if in this case his opponent were to win, if the Republicans were to gain back more control, people are going to be a heck of a lot more angry because the same policies that led us to this point are going to be put back in place. And, the recovery then is going to be completely, put in jeopardy. And, again, I think, listen, many people out there are angry about the fact that they still believe that lobbyists, the corporate special interests, have too much influence. The president has tried to really work on that, and I think with some success. But, listen, if the Republicans win back Congress, the big banks, the big insurers, the big oil companies, they're going to be calling all the shots. And middle-class people are going to get really harmed in the balance.
I'm Katty Kay. You're listening to The Diane Rehm Show. Yesterday we focused on the Republican agenda for the midterm elections and beyond. Today we are talking about the challenges facing the Democrats and their agenda as well. I'm joined in the studio by David Plouffe. If you'd like to have a question for David, do call 1-800-433-8850. Send us an email as well to drashow@wamu.org. Let's go to George in McLean, Virginia. George, you've joined the Diane Rehm Show.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, David, you made a very good point. People are angry and frustrated. You got to show them what the root cause of that anger and frustration is. I was at a rally with Catherine Sebelius, the secretary of HHS at the University of Maryland campus. There's maybe 100 people tops, and that there should have been 4 or 5 times that many. She gave a very good speech. We had a very wonderful presentation by the president in Wisconsin, broadcast on this closed circuit webcam kind of presentation. Great speech, really rallied the troops in Wisconsin. How do you get that out and address some of the issues? I mean, Obama was addressing some of the lies, basically, that are presented constantly and the hypocrisy constantly presented by the Republicans. The quarter-truths, half-truths, and outright lies. You got to hit them hard, buddy. You're not doing it. You got to do it more.
Well, listen, I think...
Thanks for your call, George.
Yeah, George, I think we have to take every opportunity. So the president, when it's appropriate, obviously he's president first, but when he's out there talking about the election as he sees it, that's a very powerful thing. Our candidates in their advertising and their speeches every day and their debates need to do it. I think the most important way we're going to reach people and explain to them the choice in this election, why their participation is so important, is at the grassroots volunteer level. So those 100 people can go out there and talk to 10 or 15, 20 people every day in the next 32 days and make an enormous impact on this election. In 2008, the most likely reason that a lot of people who never participated in politics voted was because someone in their neighborhood or in their family talked to them. It's the world we're living in. Human contact is so important. And that's what I'm really encouraged by, is across the country we're seeing Democratic volunteerism numbers really increase in the past few weeks, so they can go out and talk to people and have a discussion. And even for people who are frustrated or may, and say, I'm not sure I'm going to vote, a lot of times that kind of discussion will be very healthy. And then they'll focus on, okay, I do need to go out and vote for candidate X or candidate Y. So we have to take every opportunity to do that. And the president obviously has a powerful platform to do that. Our candidates do through the campaigns they're running and the advertising they're doing. But it is going to be old-fashioned, person-to-person, that I think will make the biggest difference here. And candidates who are in campaigns that are focusing on that, I think will be rewarded for it.
Okay, David, we just have a minute or so left on the program. Prediction time. How are you going to do? November 2nd, what kind of a night's it going to be? You going to keep the House?
I do not engage in predictions. I learned a long time ago. Remember the New Hampshire primary? That was given to us, and that didn't work out that way. So I would say this. I think that we have a very good opportunity to hold the House. I think that we're strengthening. We need to continue to strengthen. I wouldn't be comfortable if the election were held today, but I think we're on a good path here. So I think we can maintain control of the House. I think their pathway to control the Senate is next to impossible, particularly with what happened in Delaware with O'Donnell. It looks like some of our Western candidates, like Senator Murray and Senator Boxer, are strengthening. So my view is let's just let the election play out. But I think we'll do a lot better than some of the pundits you might have on your show would offer in their predictions.
Okay, we'll have to get you back after the midterms. David Plouffe, thank you very much for coming in to join us.
Thank you, Katie.
I'm Katty Kay of the BBC, sitting in for Diane Rehm. Thank you so much for listening.
The Diane Rehm Show is produced by Sandra Pinkard, Nancy Robertson, Susan Neighbors, Denise Couture, and Monique Nazareth. The engineer is Toby Schreiner. Dory Annisman answers the phones. Visit drshow.org for audio archives, transcripts, podcasts, and CD sales. Call 202-885-1200 for more information. Our email address is drshow@wamu.org, and we're on Facebook and Twitter. This program comes to you from American University in Washington. This is NPR.